Before this video ends, you'll realize something uncomfortable. Some of your worst decisions were not made because you lacked intelligence. They were made because you trusted your thoughts too much. The argument you regret, the message you sent was too fast, the opportunity you avoided, the money you lost, not because you're irrational, but because your mind reacted before you had a chance to think. Here's the truth nobody teaches you. Your brain is not designed to help you see clearly. It's designed to help you feel safe. Fear feels urgent. Anger feels justified. Certainty feels powerful. And when those emotions take over, your thinking quietly shuts down. Most people live their entire lives reacting, believing every thought they have, never realizing that the real problem is not what's happening around them, but what's happening inside their own head. If you don't learn how to control your thinking, your thoughts will control you, and that control is costing you more than you realize. Why smart people still make bad decisions? Here's what makes this so dangerous. Most people who struggle with bad decisions aren't careless, they're not lazy, they're not unintelligent. They're smart people who think they're thinking clearly. That's the trap. Intelligence does not protect you from emotional thinking. In many cases, it makes it worse. Smart minds are better at justifying bad decisions. They build convincing stories. They explain away red flags. They turn impulses into reasonable choices. And the faster your mind works, the faster it can lie to you. This is why overthinking doesn't create clarity. It creates noise. Inside Critical Thinking Mastery, you uncover a pattern most people never notice. Your biggest mistakes don't come from lack of knowledge, but from moments when emotion hijacks logic and you don't even realize it happened. If you've ever reacted and immediately regretted it, this video is for you. If learning how to think clearly under pressure matters to you, make sure you're subscribed. On this channel, we break down the most powerful ideas from books on mindset, psychology, money, and decision-making so you can stop repeating the same mistakes with better awareness. And stay with me until the end, because I'll show you the single thinking error that silently controls most people's lives and how to break free from it. Your brain was built for survival, not truth. Here's the mistake almost everyone makes. They assume their mind is designed to help them see reality clearly. It's not. Your brain was built for one purpose: survival. Thousands of years ago, speed mattered more than accuracy. Reacting fast kept you alive. Questioning your fear did not. That wiring never changed. Today, your brain still treats uncertainty as danger, disagreement as threat, loss as catastrophe. So it pushes you to act quickly, to defend, to avoid, to cling to what feels familiar. And here's the problem. What feels safe is rarely what is true. Fear narrows your thinking, anger distorts facts, certainty shuts down curiosity. This is why smart people panic during market drops. Why do capable people freeze before opportunities? Why calm reflection disappears exactly when you need it most? Inside Critical Thinking Mastery, this is the first breakthrough. Your thoughts are not neutral observers. They are emotional survival responses masquerading as logic. Once you understand this, something important happens. You stop asking, "Why am I like this?" and start asking, "What is my brain trying to protect me from right now?" That question creates distance, and distance creates control. Because the moment you realize your mind is optimized for survival, not truth, you stop obeying every thought automatically. You start thinking about your thinking. And that's where real critical thinking begins. Strategic shift number 1. Thoughts are suggestions, not commands. Most people live as if every thought deserves obedience. A thought appears, and they act. They defend. They react. They speak. They quit. They buy, without ever questioning it. But here's the shift that separates reactive minds from disciplined ones. A thought is not an order. It's a suggestion. Your mind constantly produces impulses, fears, assumptions, and interpretations. Some are useful. Many are outdated. Some are simply emotional noise. The problem is not that thoughts appear. The problem is that most people automatically obey them. Disciplined thinkers do one simple thing differently. They create a pause. Not a long delay, not a deep analysis, just enough distance between the thought and the action. That pause is where control lives. When a thought says, "They disrespected me," you pause. When a thought says, "This will never work," you pause. When a thought says, "I need to react right now," you pause. And inside that pause, you ask one question: is this a fact or a reaction? That single question prevents more damage than intelligence ever could. Because the first thought is rarely rational. It's fast, it's emotional, it's protective. The pause doesn't make you passive, it makes you precise. And precision beats reaction every time. Strategic shift number 2. Emotions are data, not direction. Most people treat emotions as instructions. If they feel fear, they stop. If they feel anger, they attack. If they feel excitement, they commit. And later, they wonder what went wrong. Here's the reality. Emotions are not guidance systems. They are information systems. Fear doesn't mean danger. Anger doesn't mean injustice. Excitement doesn't mean certainty. Emotions only tell you one thing. Something has been triggered. When emotion is high, accuracy is low. That's not a mindset quote. It's how the brain works. Strong emotions narrow perception. They remove nuance. They push you toward fast conclusions. Critical thinkers don't suppress emotions. They label them. I'm feeling fear. I'm noticing frustration. I'm experiencing urgency. That single act creates separation. You stop being inside the emotion and start observing it. And once you observe an emotion, it loses its authority over your actions. This is where most people fail. They believe calm thinking means calm situations. It doesn't. Calm thinking means control under emotional pressure. You don't wait for emotions to disappear. You decide not to let them decide for you. And when you stop letting emotions drive decisions, another dangerous illusion starts to fade. The illusion of certainty. That's where the next shift begins. Strategic shift number 3. Certainty is the enemy of clarity. Certainty feels good. It feels stable. It feels intelligent. It feels like control. But certainty is one of the most dangerous mental states you can be in. The moment you feel sure, your mind stops searching. I already know how this ends. I know who they are. I know this won't work. Those sentences feel confident. They're not. They're shortcuts your brain uses to reduce discomfort. Certainty closes the door to new information. It shuts down curiosity. It freezes learning. This is why intelligent people get stuck. They mistake confidence for accuracy. They mistake familiarity for truth. They mistake emotional comfort for understanding. Disciplined thinkers do the opposite. They treat certainty as a warning sign. When they feel sure, they slow down. When they feel confident, they ask one question: what am I missing? That question does something powerful. It reopens the mind. It doesn't mean you doubt everything. It means you refuse to confuse confidence with correctness. Most bad decisions don't result from a lack of information. They happen because people stop looking too early. Certainty feels like strength. In reality, it's often intellectual laziness disguised as confidence. Clarity requires discomfort. It requires staying open longer than feels comfortable. And once certainty loosens its grip, you begin to see the next trap clearly. The stories you tell yourself. That's where the next shift begins. Strategic shift number 4. Facts versus stories. Most people don't react to reality. They react to the story they tell themselves about reality. And those two things are rarely the same. A fact is neutral. A story is emotional. A fact is simple. A story is loud. Here's the difference. Fact: someone didn't reply to your message. Story: they're ignoring me. Fact: the project was delayed. Story: this is a disaster. Fact: the market dropped. Story: I'm gonna lose everything. Facts don't cause anxiety. Stories do. Your mind fills in the gaps automatically, usually in the most threatening way possible. Why? Because uncertainty feels unsafe, and stories give the illusion of control. Critical thinkers separate facts from narratives. They ask, what do I actually know for sure? What am I assuming? What story am I adding on top of the facts? That separation instantly reduces emotional noise. It doesn't mean the situation is suddenly good, it means you're no longer making it worse in your head. Events do not create most suffering. It's created by interpretation. When you learn to strip a situation down to facts, you regain clarity. And with clarity comes better decisions. But there's one final step that ties everything together. Because even clear thinking needs a filter. Without it, you still risk acting on the wrong thoughts. That's where the final transformation begins. Becoming mentally unreactive. When you put all of this together, something subtle but powerful changes. You stop being pulled by every thought. You stop being dragged by every emotion. You stop reacting just because something feels urgent. You become harder to manipulate, harder to provoke, harder to rush. Not because you don't feel anymore, but because you no longer confuse feeling with truth. You pause, you observe, you decide. Mentally unreactive people don't live slower lives. They live cleaner ones. They waste less energy on regret. They recover faster from mistakes. They stay clear when others panic. This is what real mental strength looks like. Not aggression, not dominance, not emotional numbness. Control. You still experience fear, anger, doubt, and excitement. The difference is simple. They no longer control your behavior. And once this becomes your default state, decision-making changes permanently. You don't ask, how do I feel about this? You ask, what is actually happening? And what is the smartest response? That shift alone compounds over time. Better decisions, better conversations, better outcomes. And that brings us to the final step. Let's bring this together. You've seen why your brain prioritizes survival over truth. Why thoughts are suggestions, not commands. Why emotions are data, not direction. Why certainty blocks clarity. And why most suffering comes from stories, not facts. This isn't about becoming emotionless. It's about becoming mentally disciplined. If you apply even one of these shifts consistently, you'll notice fewer regrets, calmer decisions, and a level of clarity most people never experience. And if this way of thinking resonated with you, the whole system is explored in much greater depth in the book Critical Thinking Mastery, Control Your Thoughts Before They Control You. You'll find the link to the book in the video description, where it breaks these ideas into practical exercises, mental frameworks, and daily habits you can actually train. If you want more breakdowns like this, books that sharpen thinking, expose mental traps, and help you make better decisions in a noisy world, make sure you're subscribed. Because the quality of your life will never rise above the quality of your thinking. And now you know how to protect it.